Hello, I am the Pussy Kitty. My name is Mr. Kitty. And today I am here with Happy Dog to talk about many things. Like, why do I sound like I am from Transylvania? You go to me now. Hi, we are going to have a blast today. This is Robin. Hello. Thank you for stopping by again. I know, I think the whole happy dog thing is like, it's infectious, man. I am always happy when I am coming to do a happy dog show because our pets provide so much for us in our life and they do so much giveaway. So we have this really super awesome guest named Amber today who has this very special magical skill of being able to talk to our animals. Sometimes don't you always wonder, well, does my dog like me? Why won't he eat that? Why does the dog want to sleep on top of me? Why is my cat pissing in my shoes? Right? All these questions that, they don't answer. So Amber's going to help us with that. And let me introduce her to you. Hi. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. San Diego Soul. I forgot it already. Tell me the name of your website again.
My website is soulstaryogareiki.com. You can find that on my Facebook page and also online. And I'm also on Instagram at Soulstar Energy Healing.
Awesome.
And my business is called Soulstar Energy Healing, based here in San Diego, but I also offer distance healings for people and animals and animal communication sessions all over the world.
Right, which is why you're here, because like we reached out to you and we're like, oh, Mr. Kitty needs some help. And that's like, you don't just do animals, you also do people too, right? You have an extensive background in Reiki, right?
Correct.
And maybe you can just kind of explain what like people say that word Reiki a lot and they think, oh, I'm just going to put my hands above you, but it's a much deeper science than that.
Yes, it really is. And what Reiki is it's the actual definition of Reiki is it's the life force energy that's within all living things. So you have Reiki in you. Everybody around here has Reiki in you. Plants have Reiki in them. Animals do. And that is actually the life force energy that connects all of us. And that's what we all have in common. This energy of life that exists within us. And so what the actual practice of Reiki is, it's actually being attuned to a higher vibration of energy that exists outside of our physical body. And when we are actually attuned to that energy, we can channel it into your physical body, into your energetic body, we call it, your chakra system and your aura. And when we actually do that, we can actually release some of the old trauma, fears, patterns that we continue to follow throughout our lives. That actually exists within our energetic body that we carry through our lives with us. And ultimately, not destroying these blockages does end up exposing itself in our physical body as disease and pain.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people, a lot of us just think of ourselves as one-dimensional meat suits, right? And that what's inside of us is just our brain. And, maybe our spirit, if we're religious in some way, then we feel like we have that connection to God, right?
Exactly.
And we don't understand that we're actually in a luminous egg, that our energetic, that we're so connected into the divine source, right? The planetary source of everything, that we can actually light ourselves up.
Yes.
And so Reiki is a way of channeling that light, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's super. And so you work with people in San Diego, right? But you also do distance healing all over the phone. So how does that work? Like I call you up and I'm like, hey, my dog's eating all of my tennis shoes. Can you help me out?
Yes,
How do you do that?
So what I actually do offer is there's actually two different options that I typically offer. And one would be an actual animal communication session. And this is where we actually sit with the animal and I initiate a two-way conversation by connecting to them telepathically through our heart space. And that's the wonderful thing is that telepathic communication, while it sounds like this far out thing, kind of like you mentioned, like something that our logical minds don't usually acknowledge or understand. But we actually do naturally have an ability to telepathically communicate from the time that we were born. All living things do. And this is actually the method that animals use when they talk to each other. They just don't use words.
Right. I really haven't heard my cats being like, "Hey, Barney,
Exactly.
come on, get that mouse." Right.
Yes, but you're still absolutely aware that they do communicate with each other, right? And you can see it in their behaviors,
Yeah, for
their
sure.
patterns.
Yeah, like Mr. Kitty, the reason why we brought him here today is that he likes to attack pit bulls. So
Yes.
he's regulated a fight between pit bulls, and then he goes in and he goes after our 120-pound frickin' pit bull. He will attack him. He'll just like the dog will be walking through the room, and Mr. Kitty's like, whap! And then it's on, and it's awful. And, like he's such a docile, sweet bundle of fur. And I was telling you earlier that he never would let me know his name. I tried to name him. He's 9 years old. So for the last 9 years, I've been, we just call him Mr. Kitty because that's all he responds to, because he's such a, well, I guess he's just a major, badass. He doesn't need a first name.
Wow.
So maybe you can help me and we can find
Yes.
out, what is Mr. Kitty's first name?
Of course.
And why does he hate dogs so much?
Yes, that would be some great questions
Yeah.
we can ask. And so the way that we start our animal communication session is, of course, I start initiating the contact with the animal. And the first thing we always want to do is we want to make sure we have that animal's permission. All the work that I do requires free will and permission from the animal. I did have a little check-in with Mr. Kitty already. And when I actually checked in with him to see if he would like to talk to us, I actually got the image of bells ringing. And he was like, I thought you would never ask. So I think we're on to something here.
Okay, good.
And so I believe that he is very willing and ready to talk to us. And this isn't the case for all animals. Every once in a while, we will actually find one that does not want to communicate, and we have to respect that. But in this case, that's the go-ahead, that he wants to actually help us understand him.
Yes, and then maybe, Mr. Kitty, you can help others understand their animals too. He's a man of the people.
Yes. And so what I'll also show you today also is a tiny sample of what it would be like to actually have a combination of an animal communication session and a distance Reiki session.
Oh, awesome.
A distance Reiki session for your pet. I usually do distance Reiki sessions for animals because of the comfort of the animal and because I can reach all over the whole world with it. So in a distance Reiki session, I would actually give you instructions on how to prepare your space and help your animal prepare for it, a calm space. And then I actually access their energy field into their chakras and their aura, and I find blockages that I come across and show you the symbols, tell you the symbols, and what these might lead to as far as behavior patterns, past trauma, or what have you. So with Reiki, of course, then once we find out what those blockages are, then we attempt to remove them and fill them back with light. So that the animal can move forward with all of the light that he is.
Awesome. Hear that?
So,
Mr. Kitty, you're
I
going to
think
move
he's
forward.
ready.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think Mr. Kitty is, I have never seen this cat this comfortable, actually.
I'm glad.
Yeah, he is like super like, I'm having my moment in the sun.
I love that little tongue sticking out.
Yeah, the tongue thing, I was telling you that, the tongue thing came after the dog got a hold of him and kind of like, they had one super good spat, and then he's always kind of looked like there's no one home. Like, I've always wondered, where are you, Mr. Kitty? And now with the tongue, it's like, really? He's like, I am very relaxed. He is a canna kitty for sure. Mr. Kitty has had a lot of cannabis in his life, that's for sure. Mm-hmm.
That's great. So, shall we begin?
Sure. I guess I should be quiet, right?
So, so the first thing that we do is we take some breaths, and this helps me actually get into kind of a trance state with him so that I can connect with him. And of course, you're definitely welcome to enter into this space with us, because even you can sometimes receive messages. This is how connected we are to our animals. So, so we'll take a few breaths and quietly, and we'll just let him enter our space in with us. Mr. Kitty is really happy to talk to us. He actually has never had this opportunity before. And so I'm asking him just to come forward, and I'm going to start scanning his body gently. I don't even need to use my hands. But I'm going to start scanning his energy field and seeing what I come up with as I scan from head to toe. First, I see something in the front of the nose and also in the back of the head, perhaps a scar back here. Moving down through his neck. I actually feel that this thing that you said about the tongue might actually be more related to his nose than his actual jaw. I feel a lot more energy in his nose, which is an interesting thing. Moving down into his neck, and here I'm getting to his throat chakra. His throat chakra is here, of course, right at the base of his neck, just like in humans. And this is the center of expression for people and animals.
He's a very chatty cat.
Yes, he is. I see that his throat chakra is incredibly wide open.
Oh, yes, he has much to say.
Yes. But as I move down into his chest, I see that there's a bit of a disconnect here between his heart and his throat. And so what that means is it can be actually hard for him to express himself, and, through his heart.
He's just like all men.
With his voice.
He's got the same
Yes.
issue as human men.
Exactly, right? And
poor Mr. Kitty.
I actually get a bit of an image of him as with a tuxedo and a top hat on right now.
He's a very sophisticated gentleman. Absolutely.
And I actually feel, what was that movie, like Gangsters of New York?
Yes.
With all the men, and I feel like that even could, like, there is something about an image like that he's holding in his heart, because that was a really tumultuous time, and I feel like he could have actually
been a gangster,
known you, at that time.
Were you my boyfriend, Mr. Kitty?
Been very protective of you, and that's amazing about animals, is that a lot of times these relationships do transcend this life.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
And a lot of this, I feel that with that kind of experience that he's showing me, especially very early on in this reading, it means that this is something that he really has brought into this world, into this life with him, this protection of you.
Is that why he's beating up the dogs?
This could be. And I even see an image of him wearing a hat much taller than, was really fit for his height. I feel like he was a short man. And it's almost like the small dog syndrome, like lashing out a bit more than is that?
Yes, you are a small man, a small, powerful man. Yes.
Does this feel like it matches kind of his
his personality, right? Yeah, like right on.
And protecting gold, almost. I also like protecting
He's getting
gold.
Mad. He's like, you are exposing me.
He's getting intense. Oh, but he's still just like, okay, yes, feel it. And it's funny that animals sometimes will actually put their body parts on you that want energy or healing. And see, he actually did move towards my hands here.
Yes. He's like, you understand me.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's like I'm being heard. And you never really know how animals are going to react when they're given that opportunity. This is really interesting. But I do get a really a protective feeling of you. Like a special woman in his life, like someone he was really meaning to take care of.
Mr. Kitty, I feel the same way about you. You're the only one, Mr. Kitty.
Does he bring you presents?
Yes. Yeah, he's a big time present bigger.
That makes sense.
Yes, puts dead frickin' birds in my bed. God. Oh, he's gone. He's like.
And so then, as I move down into his power center, that's down below his chest, kind of at his rib cage. And this is, your inner sun and the power that you carry. And, really, even as humans and as animals, the things that takes our power away, that is the things that people do to us, our experiences.
Oh, right.
And the first thing I notice in his power center is this feeling that he needs to be taller again. It's coming through again, and he's showing me his home, and he's showing me there's these two corners that he loves to sit and see everything. He's like, these are my spots because this is how I see the world.
Yes.
2 specific ones. It was like this is
Yeah,
how I help
there are
this.
2 chairs, yeah.
Yeah, because of course, animals are not really destroyed or blocked from their purpose like we are, or understanding of where they've been. They understand it, they just don't necessarily know how to heal it. Because they're like, I have these paws and this isn't what I tried to do before, you know? But, you know, also his power comes from this feeling of responsibility to you. And, you know, our relationships with our pets in the past, if you think of this as a man that was formerly very protective of you, and then think of how you came back together and he found you again to help you through this part of your life. You know, think of how we are learning and healing the things that are almost the opposite of
It's so
what
funny
we
because
experience
I was
today.
married to a man when I got Mr. Kitty who hated Mr. Kitty.
Oh my goodness.
And Mr. Kitty one time launched himself off of our deck and like fell a good 10 feet. And I thought he looks like he's crazy right now. Look at his face.
They're figuring me out.
Yeah, he didn't die, but he went away for like 10 hours and came back. And it was like he launched into space and was abducted by something.
Oh my
Because we
goodness.
didn't see him fall, because he was just like all of a sudden gone. And then as soon as that, you know, me and that man broke up, Mr. Kitty, the 2 dogs came. So he, I think that Mr. Kitty does not feel like, and now the big dog sleeps in my room. So Mr. Kitty can't get on my bed still.
Threatened again.
Oh, Mr. Kitty, you just want to sleep with me? Well, I want to sleep with you, pussycat.
Oh, it's so special. And
All this time I've been looking for a man, and he's right here.
he's right there. He's like, I'm
Mr.
right here.
Kitty.
Don't you see me?
Oh,
Isn't that cute?
that's so sweet.
And so as we move down through his body, you know, the next chakra that we would actually see down his spine would be the sacral chakra, and that one glows at orange. And that's our center of creativity. In humans, it's kind of below our belly button. But the sacral chakra, of course, in animals also is relating to creativity and being passionate, you know, that tiger within you.
Right.
And, you know, animals don't necessarily express creativity the way that we do, but cats especially are known to have a high connection with the spirit world and with meditation. And, you know, I feel that with his natural need or want or purpose to protect and bring you through this journey as his lady, I feel that he even spends more time in meditation trying to actually figure out how to help you.
How to get me to get my head out of my ass. Yes.
And
You're failing.
Yeah, he's actually showing me that he contemplates a lot about the universe in his meditations. And he's actually showing me he's fascinated with the moon, particularly. And he actually just told me, did you know that there's holes on the moon? And they spin around, so I didn't know that they spun around, but, you know, he's been contemplating this for some time.
Wow.
But, you know, knowing that the moon is his home, maybe know that, you know, he could be somebody, a being that is very affected, very
emotional.
temperamental.
Yeah.
And you know, even the moon represents the goddess within us, the mother, and so.
Okay. Does he have to be here? Can he go?
No, he can go. That's fine. He definitely is more than willing to give us the information. Poor thing.
Poor Mr. Kitty.
He's like, I've been discovered.
Right.
You know, but that also kind of relates to how he actually feels you to be his goddess, his mother. You know, the one that he bows at your feet and wants to take care of you. It's a really special relationship, and
I haven't been honoring it.
I
don't think I've been honoring it.
I feel like
Poor Mr. Kitty.
he would feel really amazing if he had his own little
How can I
throne.
help him? Do I let him sleep on my bed and get rid of the dog? I don't know what to do with.
To be honest with you, I keep getting these repeated visions of him really wanting to be taller.
Should I get him some lifts?
So, you know,
some shoe lifts?
You know, there's stilts, you know, a nice stool.
How can I help him?
But, you know, like a lot of times we can put shelves or things in
Oh
our
yeah,
home
he
that
has,
help him
but
to
he
be-
doesn't. He won't go up
so
on them.
that-
Like I've bought him the
Really?
things that you climb up on, and he won't
Interesting.
go on them.
Huh. So,
He likes chairs. He likes to destroy chairs.
oh, does he run on, does he go outside at all?
Yes,
Does
goes
he
outside.
like trees?
I don't really.
just
Yeah, he
gaze
does.
at
He
you
likes
and-
trees. Yeah, he likes to get up in the trees.
Huh. And I bet he feels closer to the moon there too.
Yeah, he's always out at night. He's a night guy.
Is he?
And he survived coyotes for 9 years because he gets
amazing.
up in things and stays up there. I mean, you're so right about that. He always went up like on the chimney or the roof, high in the tree. That's how he was able to like stay alive.
That's amazing. Very connected. And so I feel like that's a lot of actually, because and even, animals do choose their birth date, their family, even their color, what they're here to learn. And even knowing that he's black, we were talking about black is magic. And it's also the color of grounding. And so it's almost like he even brought that color black into his life to feel more connected to the earth because he naturally just loves the moon and is kind of mystified by it, And I kind of feel like he carries that magic through his life. And maybe even if you connected with him at tumultuous times during the moon phases, or
my life phases, which are
yeah.
daily. So maybe I should just seek him.
And maybe together you could
Right.
even bond and connect and allow the moon to help take some of these energies with you. I bet that would be a huge bonding experience for you and your pet. And that's a lot of what their teachings and messages can tell us too.
So, and would that help him stop attacking the pit bull if he
Now-
got more of that time with me?
Yes, it could in the long run, because now we start to remove the layers and show and let him express and be who he really is, because he's being understood.
Because he's a lover, not a fighter.
Yes.
He's very much
And
a
so
lover.
this is, when we actually see that this behavior comes from a protection, it helps you to understand all the butterfly effects of, what happens after that. So now we can move through his energetic body and see, that's the wonderful thing, is that he actually does have a lot of sense of his own power and his place in the world, despite his size and what he's been taught based on his surroundings. So now with him, as I continue on with two-way communication, we actually can ask him the specific questions that we were talking about in relation to his home, his animal friends, the setup, the situation, and any other questions that you might want to ask. So we are two-way connected, so I'll just start with some simple questions so to kind of lead us into his relationship with his animal friends. Okay, so his animal friends, and has he been living with you his entire life?
He has.
Okay.
Except for like the minute he was a shelter cat. So,
Okay.
But baby.
As a baby, okay. Okay, so he actually shows me the picture of kind of a Y. It's kind of three-pronged. It almost kind of looks like a driveway, the way that he's showing me there is definitely a connection and a reason for this bond, but he's also showing me that when one energy kind of gets rattled, the whole thing gets rattled.
Yes. Yes, it's exactly. Like if we have words or we the humans lift our energy, that's when he goes after the dog.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So you're right on with that, right on.
So he's showing me a pattern, an image trying to show me a pattern. That's really amazing. And so there's, and he's telling me there, and again, he's showing me there's a tall one and a short one.
That's the plug in the pit bull.
Everything to him is tall and short. And look at him, he's just
like,
them bastards.
I don't like them.
This is not what I
And
really
the
want to
tall
talk
one is the one he goes after because he doesn't want to be short. And he sympathizes with the short one, right?
And okay, so I'm going to specifically look at him in the tall one, and so that's the pit bull.
Yeah.
And was this the one that you said got him in the face?
Well,
Or was it the
okay, so
pup?
there was a situation, the pit bull and another pit bull actually had him trapped when they were puppies in a net. Like,
Oh
well,
my
he almost died. It
goodness.
was so awful. It was so awful.
Wow.
And, but luckily we were able to get him out of that, and it was awful. And so ever since then, it's been a situation. Yeah, it was really a terrible moment. Because it was early in the morning, we were outside. It was a net that had been over the pool, you know, my partner couldn't hear me screaming for him. So no one could hear me screaming because we live rurally, and both these dogs, these pit bull puppies, were not going to get off this cat, and he was tangled in a thing, so he kept tangling himself more in this net.
Yeah, and you know, as you're saying that, he was like, I thought I could get out of anything, but
yeah, seriously,
this taught me I couldn't.
Yeah,
You know,
it humbled him.
Like
it
deeply,
seriously humbled him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I almost see it. It kind of looks like. As you were showing that story, he's like, yeah, I learned I couldn't get out of anything anymore. That was like a major time in his life, you know, a traumatic thing. But it's almost like energetically, it looks kind of like a lawn dart or like a tense stake. You know, it was like right into his chakras, you know, and this, you know, carrying and you know, that's kind of what it means. And I feel like he does actually get small flashes of that experience anytime that a dog might get close to him, or even maybe make perhaps even a certain sound. I feel like I can hear, like he almost replays that situation in his head many times, and it was like a clank, and then like almost like leaves scratching around, and he turned around, and there it was.
They were, yeah, probably. I'm sure it was like that for him.
Yeah, he's kind of showing me play by play how that happened, and he said I had this split second of a moment, and I didn't make it, and that's the wonderful thing with cats is like they really do see things long before they happen. You know, they are these amazing magical creatures that are very adaptable and quick, and that's why they can survive so well on their own. But you know, it was like that split second. It was almost life or death for him. And
yeah,
that,
it was
you know,
seriously
scary.
life or death for him.
It's very
for sure.
scary.
Yeah, it was very insane.
And again, I feel like that, you know, and I see this image of him really, you know, in that moment being really, you know, that squished down, you know, really tense, scared look, just like, get away from me. And again, I'm getting the image short. I got shorter again. You know, it made me shorter. You know, so he really does go back to this short thing a lot. That's what he calls it.
So we'll have to tell him that he's tall.
Yeah, like make him feel tall.
That's a tall name.
You know, isn't that a interesting thing is that he's really preoccupied with feeling short, but it's traumatic for him, you know?
Sylvester Stallone can relate,
You know,
Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise wishes he was that good looking.
Yeah, maybe you should show him some Tom Cruise and be like, hey, this guy made it. You can do it. You know, I think he would love that.
Okay.
Right?
Would he like to share his name? Does he have a first name?
Yeah, you know, we should try to see if he has a name he would like to share with us. I think that would be great. I'm first going to tell him that his name is Mr. Kitty. Because they don't always know. You know, they know usually syllables. But I'm going to tell him his name is Mr. Kitty and see what he thinks. There was a little chuckle. He's like, it's not Mr. It's Sir.
Sir Pussykitty.
And he's spelling his name for me. And maybe it was his name before. MALCALLAN. Melcallan.
McCullen.
Melcallan.
Sir McCullen. Sir McCullen. McCullen. Are you Irish? I thought you were Hispanic, damn it. I have all these songs for this cat.
That's a very regal name, isn't it?
McCullen. Yeah, we have we have lots of songs for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sing for him all the time. He's got like corset, like, you know, like many songs.
Oh.
Yeah,
awesome.
About how he's so black and pretty. He is the Pussy Kitty.
Yes.
His name is Mr. Kitty.
Sir. And he says,
McKellen.
My name is Sir.
Sir McKellen. Sir McKellen. He's Irish. Damn, I had it wrong the whole time.
That's funny.
I thought that no wonder he didn't want to be called like Ricardo or Eduardo. He was like, I am not a Spaniard.
I'm getting really Italian or French with him.
Something
Italian or French.
Italian or French, okay, yeah. Okay.
And even like a, you know, have you ever checked to see if maybe he likes something like, I don't know, meatballs or...
Oh yeah, he likes meat. Yeah, for sure. No, like he likes meatballs. He loves. They're one of his favorite foods. That's so funny. He likes the meatball.
Of course,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
And he likes tomatoes, which is a weird thing for a cat to
It
like.
is,
So that's funny.
So that's him.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so
Sir
nurture
McKellen.
that. It would make him feel like a king.
Sir
right?
Look at there's like you can see there's something in his eyes. Like he actually something like showed up, like something behind the
It's
eye.
amazing.
Yeah.
Should we really ask him if there's anything he believes we can do about the tongue thing? Or
Is he comfortable
let's
with his
see what he
tongue?
thinks.
Yeah.
Or is it hurtful, you know, or
Yeah, is
painful?
he in
We want to
pain?
know that obviously first. So let's find out if there's any implications we need to know about the tongue thing. He's actually showing me some similar ringing bells again, like he did in the beginning when he said, you know, I thought you would never ask. He's showing me some bells ringing, and he's still kind of pointing at his nose, about right here. And he's like, well, sometimes it's just kind of like,
Maybe he has a pituitary
you know?
issue.
So maybe it could be causing almost like a clenching of the jaw or something. Or
So maybe I should take him to
or
a
opening-
vet. see if there's something
I would
going
always
on.
recommend, checking everything, that I get from, of course, I'm not a veterinarian. I don't intend to show anything, or replace veterinary care. But sometimes these can lead us to things or clues that are deep underlying that we haven't seen yet.
Right. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
pains that we don't know that they feel.
Right.
So it might be worth checking out because I really do feel a strong connection between the nose, the jaw, and the receding of the tongue.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
interesting, huh?
Yeah, very interesting. Well, thank
Yeah,
you for
you're
all that
so
information
welcome.
on Mr. Kitty.
Thank you for sharing
Wow.
it with me.
So you guys, if you're out there in the world and you would like to have this experience with this lovely lady, you can find her on, I should have wrote it down, let's say it again. SoulstarYogaReiki.com. Okay, and look in the feed because her contact information is in the feed for sure. SoulstarReiki.com. She's so awesome, and so she does so many other things besides animals that we're gonna switch topics with her and start talking about how Reiki and yoga play into the lives of human beings. How about that? How we do that?
Yes,
Yeah. So,
exactly.
So you're a yoga instructor.
I am.
And I wore my yoga pants with cats on them for you. And you do Reiki and you include cannabis in this
Yes.
practice. So share with me about that.
Yes. So as we were talking about earlier, as my business, my mission really is to connect you with the gifts of the earth, earth healing tools so that you can reach your higher self. And I do that obviously by offering Reiki programs for people and animals and also private yoga instruction. And my specialty in yoga is cannabis-enhanced ganja yoga. And that was actually the first cannabis-enhanced yoga practice to be offered as a certificate program for yoga instructors.
Oh, that's so awesome. So you are training instructors on how to be ganja yoga instructors?
No,
Like,
I was actually trained and certified
so
as
this
a
is
ganja
like
yoga
Yoga
instructor.
Alliance certification?
Yes,
Like-
and offered by Dee Dussault, who created the book Ganja Yoga.
Okay,
and
I'm
the
sorry,
teacher
but
training.
why do you need a certification to smoke weed and forward fold?
Oh, it's
Please,
amazing.
Yeah, tell me why. Is
Yes.
it because people might fall asleep in Shavasana and not be able to wake up? Or, I don't understand the certificate part.
Yes, there's actually a lot of reasons, and one of the deepest reasons is because, as you know, I'm sure that you've heard and talked about many times, is that cannabis is actually a sacred, ancient healing tool.
Oh, so it's the gateway experience that's
Yes.
coming with. So don't try this alone, folks.
Exactly.
Yeah, so okay, I get it now. Okay. All right. So it's more than, so it's not I just don't want people to be confused that this is not like going to Core Power or Bikram or your local yoga studio, the Y, to do a Shavasana, or not a Vinyasa class or something like that.
Right.
It's not going to be like that. This
Correct.
type of yoga.
Correct.
So explain what it's like.
Yes. So
'Cause I'm gonna come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what would
You'll
I
have to
be
join us.
What would I be expecting? Do I get
Okay.
high on my way there in the car? Are you gonna get high with me?
You
do you have
will,
bongs?
yeah, we
what's the
do
deal?
get high
Ooh,
with
okay.
you.
I like
yeah,
that.
and it's a great experience. So basically, the main difference between Ganja yoga and other yoga practices, your traditional yoga class that you'll walk into at a yoga studio. Normally, you actually walk into a yoga studio and go right to your mat. It's a very individual time with your body, your mind, and cleansing and moving that energy through your body in a meditative space just on your own. However, in Ganja Yoga, what we actually do is before the class, we offer space, hold space for our participants to have a small session social before class in order to enhance in any way that they choose. Many people do bring joints and things like that of choice, and even CBD too. It's definitely not a requirement to use cannabis to enjoy Ganja Yoga. But once we move into the mats and into our personal space, like after we've joined with this beautiful community and, you know, breaking down our personal walls and connecting with others, then we move into our personal space on our mats. And kind of like I said, is that there's a serious history and logic behind adding cannabis into your yoga practice. And that's because cannabis is actually one of the most powerful healing tools we have available to us on this planet, and legally, of course. But there is also evidence in ancient times. The first yogis in history did have evidence of actually smoking other herbs, ancient sacred herbs, during their practice to enhance it and enhance the meditative experience during it. So in Ganja Yoga, by consuming this plant before entering into your practice with your meditative state, you can actually consciously move this plant through every cell of your body. And that's actually partly due to the fact that you have cannabinoid receptors on every single cell of your body. So with breath work, meditation, and nice relaxing yoga, including Reiki in my case, because I always offer Reiki energy healing during our classes, but we're actually moving this plant medicine to our body and putting ourselves into a position where we can actually experience all the wisdom, the healing, and this plant has to offer us. And it's actually a very different experience than even going home by yourself and getting high, you know, because you're actually consciously, purposely moving this plant through you, and putting yourself in a position with your mind where you can see, feel, experience different energies within and around you through breath work.
Yeah, and then having that community
Yes.
that you're starting with before, because I know, I do a lot of yoga, and you show up, nobody talks to you, you're like, oh, like, lay on the mat, don't look, don't do it ever. So just to bring that component to it right there, where you're actually engaging with the people that you're going to be, practicing with, is for sure going to open you up, right?
It is. It really is.
Yeah. So you're not like smoking weed while you're doing it before, right?
Exactly.
And then you're more relaxed. So it's probably not a really aggressive form of yoga. It's probably not a really like super high powered, is it? Or is it more restorative yoga?
Yeah, I do consider it more restorative. Definitely very relaxing. I actually kind of have the mission every time to get everybody as relaxed as possible. Some people do fall asleep halfway through class. And the way I see that is that this plant actually calls you and brings you into the space that you need to be for your healing right now. And so if it calls you and tells you that it's time to sleep, then that's what you need to do during this class.
How nice.
That
is the most embarrassing moment for me in a restorative yoga class, when I fall asleep and snore and wake myself up. Oh no, what's going on? It's so horrible. So it'd be nice if there were other people who were doing that with me as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So you do one-on-one sessions as well?
Yes, I do private yoga instruction. I can come to your private location and offer a small group instructions for you and your friends. And I also do things like, if you're not interested in necessarily cannabis yoga, we of course can always do
you can always do it without it. It's an add-on for sure.
Yeah, and meditation coaching.
Right.
And
yeah, your energy is so I just love it, because it's just so really lifted. So you said in the beginning that Reiki is something that we all have. It's basically the chi, the life force energy of who we are, and we're interconnected to all things. So how can we, is there something an exercise that you can share with everyone so they can practice it on themselves? Because like I said, most people are walking around like one-dimensional meat suit, not realizing that they are interdimensional, first of all, and connected to the everything. So anything that we could do, like if you tell somebody, well, nothing happened, well, you're breathing, right? And they're like, oh, that doesn't count. Well, it does count, because that means you're alive. So people don't even understand that their breath is what's keeping them connected. So you want to share? You got a little exercise that you and I can do, maybe that you all can follow along with?
Yes. All right. And this is a really nice way, and you can do this anytime you want. It's so easy and quick. But This actually helps you get grounded, as we were talking about earlier, connected to the earth and all the guidance around you, and it helps you clear your space. So you can always put your hands on your knees. You can sit, cross-legged or whatever works best for you, or even lie down. And so close your eyes, and we're going to take 4 deep breaths. First, you're going to inhale, really fill your lungs, and then pause at the top. And then open mouth, exhale all the way out. Try to count for 8, getting all the energy and the air out of your stomach. Now a deep breath in once again. Inhale all the way up. Pause. And another open mouth. We're going to do that 2 more times. You want to get all the air out. Inhale again. Exhale all the way out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Now this brings you a bit into what we call a trance state, where you're really receptive to and aware of the energy around you. So as you're here, bring your focus into your chest, into your heart center. And now visualize your heart center and imagine it opening up all the way out towards the side of your shoulders. Straighten your spine and let it continue to expand as you continue to focus on your breath. With each breath, make that energy around you bigger, bigger, let it expand. And then even move your attention now back into your heart center and then down your spine, all the way down to your tailbone. And here imagine roots growing out the bottom of your tailbone, down through your chair, and into the earth. Continue to keep a long breath. And if you start to listen and feel with more than just your 5 senses, you may even start to feel a pulse back at you from the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. You might notice it even feels like a big hug. And this is something you can do anytime you're feeling like life is coming at you from all different directions. The earth will actually take that negative energy, all of those things away from you, just with your intent. And with gratitude, move the attention back all the way up into your heart center, all the way up your spine, and let your heart glow once again. And think of one thing that you're grateful for. Feel how your heart glows even more, maybe even a different color, as you think of that thing because you like it. Maybe bringing a little smile to your face. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale. You can open your eyes. And so thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. That was so nice. I really hope that you people who are watching this, that you take advantage of that, because there's so much in just breathing and just exhaling. I'm a body worker, and when I work with people, they're like, it's like I'm like inhale, like they get their breath to right here. Your breath has the capacity to go your solar, like everyone just take your hand and stick it on your solar plexus, which if you don't know where it is, it's going to be the sore spot right at the base of your ribs.
Yes.
That's where you breathe to. That's where the air outside of you can come in and fill your body up.
Yes,
so
exactly.
This has been like so much fun.
Yes, just a joy.
You're
Thank
like
you.
an amazing. You're so that's so awesome, Mr. Kitty McClure, Sir McClure. Did I get it right? McClure.
Yeah,
McKellen. Yeah, McKellen. I have to write it down. Mr. McKellen, Sir McKellen. Yeah, now he has to I'll get a whole new voice. I have to get all new songs for him.
Yes, it's gonna
we have
be
to get him a
great.
really tall chair. Maybe I can get the dog to stay on his knees. Yeah.
You might need to make a Instagram for him or something, or a blog.
Well,
He might have a story he wants to tell everybody.
we are launching a cat line this
Are
year.
you?
Yeah, it's Perfect Canna Kitty. And Mr. Kitty, of course, is going to be one of the inspirations for it. And I'm formulating it so because cats are different than dogs, shocking but true, right? So even though you can give your cat our CBD medicine right now, you can give your cat Happy Dog Canna Meds right now. It will serve your cat just well. We're going to formulate it with something that addresses the main issues for cats, which are urinary tract infections. It's a big thing.
That's number
and
one, I
kidney
think.
issues. So our CBD formula for cats will address those two issues as well, because those are the things that cats really suffer from the most.
Wow, yes, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you're doing that.
Amber, thank you so much for coming. Were there any questions? Did anybody have anything? I have a feeling that all of you who did not see this, I think that this thing is going to get circulated a lot. This was some amazing information. Amber, I can't thank you enough. Say your website again.
You can visit me online at soulstaryogareiki.com or on Facebook and Instagram at Soulstar Energy Healing.
Right, and we're going to like her, so like us, like her, like everyone. And hey, all you pet people, for real, check her out, man. Call her.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, call her. Reach out to
online.
her. You can book online?
Yes.
Oh, great. So go to her Facebook page right now, because y'all are watching this on Facebook. Soulstar, is it Soulstar Yoga or Reiki?
On Facebook, it's Soulstar Energy Healing.
Soulstar Energy Healing. Right on. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, folks.